Today is another, wait, what section of scripture when it comes to the relationship between Judah and Tamar. But before we get to that, Genesis 37 dives into the terrible rivalry between Jacob's sons. From conception, Jacob's sons have been pit against one another, and Jacob has shown extreme favoritism to Rachel's sons, leaving his other 10 sons bitter and angry. Now, Joseph in particular is incredibly special to Jacob. Genesis 37 tells us that his brothers hated Joseph and they couldn't speak one kind word to him. So Joseph has these two prophetic dreams that show his brothers bowing down to him. And for some reason, shares his dreams with his brothers. As you can imagine, his brothers don't appreciate it and plot against him to end his life. But Judah intervenes and encourages his brothers to sell Jacob into slavery rather than have blood on their own hands. So Joseph is sold to Potiphar. Now here, the story shifts from Joseph to Judah. Judah leaves home and he becomes the patriarch of his own family. His oldest son, marries a young woman named Tamar. Now, was so wicked that the Lord took his life. So in accordance with law, Judah has his second son, Onan, marry Tamar, but he does not want her to have his children. So he dishonors her by not getting her pregnant, because then his heir wouldn't be his own child. Technically, the child would be Er's. Now, keep in mind, Judah's line is going to die with him if his sons don't produce any offspring. Also keep in mind that God has decided it is the line of Judah that will bear the Messiah. So Onan wasn't just dishonoring Tamar. He was also obstructing God's plan for salvation. So the Lord takes Onan's life, leaving Judah with only one son, Shelah. Judah sends Tamar home, and he tells her she'll get to marry Shelah when Shelah is old enough. But Judah has no intentions to follow through on his word. Years later, Tamar tricks Judah into impregnating her by disguising herself and posing as a prostitute. So Judah agrees to pay the prostitute one young goat from his flock, but Tamar asks for collateral in the form of Judah's signet ring and walking stick. So Tamar becomes pregnant, and when Judah hears that his daughter-in-law has acted like a prostitute and become pregnant, he demands she come out and be burned. So Tamar comes to Judah and she reveals who the father of her child is by handing him back his signet and walking stick. Now, Judah recognizes them immediately and exclaims, "She is more righteous than I am." So in spite of Judah, the messianic line was preserved. And as always, our God who sees honors Tamar throughout history. Although she may have been discarded by Judah, over 1,500 years later, in the writing of the book of Matthew, she is recognized in the lineage of Jesus.